My mom begged me to come home for the holidays. I'm Claire Miller. I'm 30 years old. And like an idiot, I actually believed this Christmas might be different. She called me in London at 3 in the morning, crying on FaceTime, saying how we never see you anymore, how the whole family needs you here, how the kids keep asking about Aunt Claire. Her voice sounded broken, guilty, desperate. So I booked the flight. 10 hours on an overnight plane. 2 layovers. A dead phone battery. A stiff back. And a suitcase full of gifts I'd bought for my brother's kids with money I really shouldn't have spent. When I finally reached my parents' house in San Diego, I was exhausted, jet-lagged, and stupidly hopeful. I rang the doorbell thinking, maybe this time she'll hug me like she used to when I was a kid. The door flew open. No hello. No hug. No, how was your flight? My mom stared straight at my suitcase and said, completely casually, you'll babysit the kids. We're leaving for a family trip. My brother stepped into the doorway behind her, sunglasses on, duffel bag over his shoulder, his kids hanging off his arms. He smirked and joked, hey guys, don't wipe your snot on Aunt Claire. She's jet-lagged. Everyone laughed. My parents. My brother. Even the kids. And I stood there, smelling like airplane coffee, holding a credit card bill full of tickets I had paid for. Realizing I wasn't a daughter who came home. I was the help. Something inside me shut off. I smiled, set my suitcase down, looked my mom straight in the eye, and said one sentence. That sentence changed everything. The laughter stopped. The color drained from their faces. And my mom started whispering, no, no, no way. Because by the time I was done, their dream vacation was over. Their house was on the line. And I was done being their free babysitter and personal bank. To understand why that one sentence froze the room, you need to know what my family had been doing to me for years. My mom didn't just suddenly miss me when she called crying on FaceTime. 2 weeks before that 3 a.m. call, she had already been sending me screenshots of insanely expensive holiday packages, casually saying things like, we could never afford this unless you helped a little, just this once. Just this once was how every favor started. When my dad needed knee surgery, I wired the money. When my brother Jason maxed out his credit cards chasing another business idea, I helped consolidate his debt. When the water heater broke, I paid. When the mortgage was late, I covered it. Meanwhile, I lived in a tiny flat in London. I cooked at home. I walked to work in the rain. And somehow, I was still paying for streaming services, phone plans, and grocery deliveries in a house I didn't even live in, on a continent I wasn't even on. This time, though, something felt off. Before booking my ticket, I started paying attention. I saved every Zelle transfer, every PayPal receipt, every thank you honey, we'll pay you back soon. And that's when I noticed something that made my stomach drop. An email from the bank. My name was on a mortgage I didn't remember signing. Years ago, they had added me as a co-borrower just for a better rate. Back then, they swore it was only paperwork. But now I realized I'd been quietly covering short payments for years, and every missed bill was hurting my credit too. So while my mom cried about missing me and the kids asking for Aunt Claire, I sat on my bed in London staring at my banking app, finally understanding the truth. The only time my family treated me like family was when a bill was due. I almost said no, almost told her to figure it out herself. But then I had a better idea. If they were willing to fly me across the world to use me, I was finally willing to stop playing along. And this time, I wasn't coming home unprepared. By the time I landed in San Diego, I wasn't just exhausted from the flight. I was wired with something sharper than anger, clarity. While my family thought I was coming back as the same jet-lagged, apologetic daughter, I had spent the last 2 weeks preparing. I booked the flight, yes, but I also booked a call with a financial advisor. I downloaded 3 years of bank statements. I organized every transfer, every emergency, every quiet bailout into neat, undeniable folders. So when my mom opened the door and immediately announced I'd be babysitting while they went on a family trip, I didn't react the way they expected. I smiled. I rolled my suitcase inside. I let the kids jump around my legs. I followed everyone into the kitchen, where a glossy resort itinerary was laid out on the counter like a promise already paid for. My mom tapped the brochure. "This is why we needed you here," she said. You'll stay with the kids. We deserve a real vacation. I recognized the last 4 digits on the confirmation email glowing on her phone. My credit card. That was the moment the switch flipped completely. I asked everyone to sit down so we could go over a few things before you leave. My dad took his place at the head of the table, like it was a family meeting. Jason scrolled his phone, half listening. The kids spun in circles. I opened my laptop. Before anyone could stop me, I said calmly, "Before you go anywhere, we need to talk about money." Jason groaned. My mom tried to soften it with guilt. My dad muttered about bad timing. I ignored all of it and opened a spreadsheet. Line after line filled the screen. Mortgage shortfalls, medical bills, business debts, utilities, subscriptions, random Venmo requests that somehow always lined up with shopping weekends. I read them out slowly, not to shame them, but to make them listen. Jason went pale when he saw his own messages attached to the payments. My mom covered her mouth when she saw screenshots of her texts next to salon receipts. My dad stiffened when he recognized the transfer labeled knee surgery followed by a brand new TV purchase. At the bottom of the screen was the total, just over $60,000. The room went silent. That's when I slid a thin stack of papers across the table and said the sentence that changed everything. My dad was the first to speak, his voice sharp with disbelief. "We're family," he said. "You don't keep score like this. You don't put family in debt." I met his eyes without blinking. Family doesn't hide a mortgage in their daughter's name and call her when the payment is late. My mom flinched. Jason grabbed the papers, skimmed the first page, and his hands started shaking. "This is insane," he said. "None of us can pay this back." "I know," I replied calmly. "That's why this isn't a lawsuit. It's a record. So the next time you tell people I abandoned you, the truth exists." Then I clicked to the next tab on my laptop. The resort confirmation filled the screen. Names, dates, package details, and right below it, status. Cancelled. My dad half stood from his chair. "What are you talking about?" "I canceled it 3 days ago," I said. "The booking was made with my card. My account. My money." My mom whispered my name like a prayer. "You had no right," my dad snapped. "I had every right," I answered. "What you don't have anymore is access to my life." Before he could respond, I opened another email. This one was from the bank. Both our names were on the mortgage. Co-borrowers. My mom's voice broke. "You said it was just paperwork. You said it wouldn't affect me," I replied. "But every missed payment hit my credit. Every shortfall was mine to fix." I clicked one more button. A video call window appeared. My financial advisor calmly explained what it meant to remove myself from the loan. Refinancing. Reassessment. In some cases, selling the house. The room felt smaller with every word. When the call ended, I closed my laptop and stood up. "I'm stopping all automatic payments," I said. "Utilities. Subscriptions. Mortgage supplements. All of it." Jason panicked. My mom cried. My dad accused me of cruelty. But for the first time, I didn't shrink. "I'm not punishing you," I said quietly. "I'm stepping out of a role you assigned me without asking." I picked up my suitcase and walked out. No one followed. That night, I unlocked the door to a small condo I'd bought months earlier. Quiet. Empty. Mine. I canceled the last shared accounts. Watched the confirmation emails roll in. Felt something I hadn't felt in years. Peace. A week later, my dad posted online about an ungrateful daughter who chose money over family. I didn't respond. I didn't need to, because I had every receipt, every record, every truth. And for the first time, I chose myself. If this story hit you, like the video. If you've ever been trapped by family expectations, comment your experience. And subscribe, because the next story is even more intense, and I want to know what kind of story you want to hear next.